You know, all right. Welcome. I gotta say that first. Welcome. Let's put this in the ether. I talk to a lot of women. A lot of women who's been in failed relationship. They give me the reason that the reason why they in a failed relationship with a man is because the man is toxic, and that's like the number one excuses they like to use. The man is very toxic. Oh, he's a toxic man, right? He's a toxic man. He's just something wrong. He's just insecurity. Maybe how come there's not taking responsibility for yourself? Maybe you might be the one who's toxic as well, right? What, women can't be toxic? That's why I don't understand that. When there's a strife between two relationships, they always say a toxic male. Why can't the woman be toxic as well? Women are incapable of being toxic, right? I find it hard to believe. There could be a lot of toxic women out there, right? Women need to realize that, there's got to be a reason why, right, relationship fails, right? Maybe it isn't just necessarily always the man's fault. I understand men have their own issues. Men have problems, right? We're only human, right? Men have problems, we're only human. Same goes for women. Women have problems, they're only human. But to negate yourself that you can't be toxic, to disillusion yourself that women can't be toxic. Women can't be toxic, right? Women can be toxic by laying a hand on a man. Men don't like to hit women, right? Men don't like to hit women. Most men do not like to hit women. Most of the cases that some of these domestic violence dispute, they're usually, most 9 times out of 10 are instigated by the woman. Women laid a hand on a man's first. I've been there. I could vouch for that. I seen relationship where women laid a hand on a man. Right? Is that not a demonstration of toxic femininity? Right? When women decide to put their hand on a man, slap them, right? You can see that everywhere, right? It's not like I'm saying this thing doesn't exist. I'm not like saying that women can't hit a man. Women hit a man all the time. Right? This is not fantasy. This has been documented in videos, people experiences, people eyewitness seeing a woman hit a man. Right? It happens. I don't condone any violence on anybody. I believe we should not be physical with each other. Men should not hit women should not hit a man. But 9 times out of 10, these domestic cases are initiated by the woman laying the hand on the man first. Right? I advocate men, if you're ever in that situation, leave before anything get out of hand. Right? Leave, get the car, get out the house, walk, run away, get in your car. I don't care what they say. Because things could get out of hand real quick if you stay in this kind of toxic relationship. My point is that women can be very, very toxic, right? Women need to realize that sometimes you could be very toxic as well, right? Not just men. And it's like at some point, you gotta realize men can't be toxic all the time, right? Men try their best to be who they are. Right? We can't be toxic all the time, can we? Sometimes women have to bear the responsibility in a relationship. They gotta look themselves in the mirror, right? Like Michael Jackson's song, Man in the Mirror. Maybe there should be a song where it say woman in the mirror. Woman, look yourself in the mirror and see who is in the wrong, who's in the right in this relationship. Because at times, it seems like women could get away with a lot of stuff that men can't, right? And that's real. That's facts, right? Women could get away with a lot of things. Women get lighter sentence when they get in jail compared to a man. Men get a harsh sentence. Women would get reduced sentences. Don't tell me this is not real. This is real. You can see it all the time, right? In a courthouse, people are more sympathetic to women than are men, right? They seem to favor the women over men, right? And I think that's totally wrong. They want equality, right? They're egalitarian, right? So why is it double standard? Why aren't people pointing out this double standard? And I think that's wrong. I think women could be very toxic at times, right? And a guy gotta have balls to still be with a toxic person. He have enough patience to be stuck with a toxic woman, right? There's a lot of videos out there of women stalking men. If that's not toxic, right? I'm not saying men can't stalk women, right? But women stalk men in the... Usually when men stalk women, right? I hate to use that word, when follow women, right? It's usually based on, his affections, his admired, right? But I'm not saying that's a good thing. Don't do it, guys. Don't ever do that, all right? Don't ever be creepy like that. That's a creepy attribute. Don't ever stalk anybody. But when women stalk men, or follow men is usually based on antagonizing, um, um, evoke violence, right? Because I have friends where women follow him around to distort his life. She follow him around, key his car, damage his car, right? Break all his window because of that. And that I'm not saying this multiple women does kind of stuff like this, and that's a exhibit of toxic femininity, right? That's very toxic. That's a toxic person. If she would go as far as following a man home to destroy him, to burn his clothes, to rip his home apart, to toss his clothes away, right? To scratch his car, and for some reason, society allowed that happen, right? Look at from TLC, Left Eye, right? You know, rest in peace, Left Eye. She was known to burn her boyfriend's clothes, burn his house down, right? If that's not toxic, what is toxic? She's a very toxic person by doing that, right? I mean, it's not fair. She's not here to defend herself. She's passed away, but you, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about, right? There's her life been plastered around around the media back in the '90s. She's from a band TLC. But anyway, I digress on that. I'm just making an example that women can be toxic at times, right? They could follow guy's car, destroy his property, right? And some reason they either get a lighter sentence or get away with most women could get away with murder, right? Most women could do that, and how is that fair, right? Women could be toxic, and that's what people need to understand. What people need to accept, and that's the kind of dilemma guys are facing. Should I be with a toxic woman? Guys have patience, man. We have patience. We could bear the grunt of the toxic woman, right? I'm not saying women can't do that, but we bear most of it. We have enough patience to deal with that. And a guys are willing to stand there to let a girl slap him multiple times, back and forth, in front of cameras, in front of his friend, and he's still not doing nothing about it, right? Right? If that's not a sign of toxic, I don't know what is, right? So I hate this. It's like a cop out when women use, "Oh, he's a toxic guy. Oh, he was a toxic. Why did you break with your boyfriend? Oh, he was an abusive boyfriend. He was a toxic." I mean, that's to me, it's like a cop out, right? By accusing that man of being toxic. Of course, you don't want to be with a toxic person. Who doesn't? Who does want to be with a toxic person? Nobody wants to be with a toxic person. But it seems to me that is like the basic generic answer to a reason why you broke up with a man. There gotta be something deep down, deep rooted in that. Maybe you want to explore somebody else. Maybe the reason why you find them less attractive. Maybe the reason why you are very promiscuous. Maybe there's all sorts of reasons, right? But to say that the man is toxic, that's the reason why you break it with him, I find that hard to believe. And it's unfair just to listen to one side of the story. I like to listen to both sides of the story. I like to listen to the man's point of view and the woman's point of view, and see who's the real toxic one in a relationship. Not just listen to the woman. I don't take women's words as facts, man. I need to hear both sides, right? And that's what rational people do. They hear both sides, right? If you're the type of person who just believe a woman, oh, my husband did that. I just tell you, what? Just put on the brake and don't judge at that moment until you hear the husband's sides. And everybody should do that. I think that's a good practice. Everybody should hear both sides before making the assumptions. Because now you just assume that's a toxic person, and it's unfair to him for to defend himself. He's not there to defend himself, right? So, gist of the matter is that I think it's a cop out. Women say that a man is toxic. Is the issue might be more dynamic, might be more complex than that than just he's just a toxic person in general, right? I'm sure there's some good side of him, right? You just can't say a man is bad all the time, and ladies like to use that as an excuse. I'm hearing that from multiple women all around the world, everywhere. Why you're not with that person? Oh, he's a toxic person. He's a toxic man. Toxic mentality. And people like, oh my God. People it needs to be retired, right? Not excuses. It needs to be retired. And I just, tired of it. Just tired. Male being bashed, male being a toxic person. Guys are not given a chance to explain themselves. Guys are not, guys' word are not taken as truth. Guys and women supposed to believe all women just because women aren't capable of lying. Women lie all the time. What are you talking about, right? That's like, everybody's capable of lying, even women. Kids are capable of lying. Should you trust a kid? Should you trust a man? No, I don't believe in nobody. I want to hear both sides first, see the evidence before I make my decisions, right? Women could lie, right? But the point is of this video is that women could be toxic at times, and they like to use that toxic masculinity as excuse, and I think it's a cop out, right? But let me know if you agree. You think it's a cop out for women saying a guy is toxic all the time, right? And there's got to be more to the whole story. Let me know you agree, right? On that note, guys, thanks for watching, and I thank you so much. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, and as always, peace and blessings.